It's been about a month now since I've had LG's 27-inch Ultragear OLED monitor, and in that time, I've learned a lot about it. It's actually my first time using an OLED panel that's 27 inches, that small. In this video, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts and my experience using the monitor over that time period. So the way the monitor is built is like a super slim OLED display was attached to a back piece containing all the different input-output ports and all the electricals. There's also some LED backlighting built right into the vents on the backside there. The monitor is also very lightweight, as you'd expect from anything sporting an OLED panel. If you don't plan on mounting the monitor onto a wall or even a desk arm like I did, then you can always just use the stand that came with it. It's a solid desk stand with a nice build quality, so no worries there. It'll let you do all kinds of things to the monitor, like tilt it, raise it up, or even down. For connectivity, there's a good amount of input-output ports for the monitor size. We've got two awesome HDMI 2.1 ports and one DisplayPort 1.4 for connecting multiple source devices all at the same time. The fact that the monitor also comes with HDMI 2.1 ports means consoles like the PS5 and the Series X can use features like variable refresh rate when hooked up to the monitor. Considering both consoles now support 2K resolution natively, you could expect to get a really nice gameplay performance at up to 120 frames per second using these, although you're probably never going to hit that with these consoles. There's also a headphone jack for plugging in a wired headset, since the monitor doesn't come with built-in speakers. And honestly, I wouldn't expect external speakers on a monitor of this size. Personally, I prefer to use a wireless gaming headset with little monitor setups like this one. You can also use the optical port on the backside there to supply audio from the monitor to external speakers if you prefer that instead. There's also two USB Type-A ports and a USB 3.0 upstream port on the backside. One of the reasons why the monitor is on the pricey end is because of the OLED display panel it possesses. If you haven't noticed already, pretty much anything with an OLED display comes with a premium price tag. The screen comes equipped with a maximum refresh rate of 240 Hz and 0.03 milliseconds of response time. Those specs might not mean much to everyone out there, but they can definitely be an advantage for anyone that's into FPS or just competitive gaming in general. Movements on the screen are always so buttery and smooth when playing at high frame rates. The screen size is also 27 inches, which is a great size for allowing a gamer to view the action from every angle without having to move their head and neck as much as they would with a larger monitor. The fact that the monitor comes equipped with an OLED panel makes it sort of a hybrid that's also good for story-driven games, especially ones with very nice visuals. With HDR enabled, the monitor gets a lot brighter and colors pop so much more. In fact, the entire picture quality on the display is just amazing. If you didn't already know, OLED displays will usually have perfect blacks for the best contrast, and colors will always appear more vibrant and accurate than with other display types, at least from my experience. The monitor also has a native resolution of 1440p, and I know some people are not going to care about this because they all want the gimmicky 4K, but I think this is great for a screen of this size, and with the OLED display, that resolution looks even better. There's also very thin bezels around the edges of the screen, and that seemed to provide a more aesthetic look and feel for the entire monitor in general. Also, something else that you would expect with OLED panels is great viewing angles, and that was not missing with this monitor as well. From what I've seen online, a lot of people had mixed feelings about the anti-glare screen and the brightness performance. at least when doing anything other than gaming. I'll admit that I did notice that the anti-glare coating kind of negated the effect of the OLED panel, at least a little bit, but it also made it possible to see the monitor in bright rooms clearly with little to no annoying glares. For me, I'd use a monitor like this mainly for gaming, and I only do that with the drapes shut, so the room is always blacked out when I'm doing that. For these reasons, I didn't notice any specific brightness related issues most of my time using the monitor. But if you do like to game in bright spaces, make sure that you keep in mind that this OLED monitor might not be able to reach the brightness levels that you might want. But for some, it still might be enough. There's a single button right underneath the center of the monitor which provides access to a quick settings menu. You'll need the provided remote control to access the more advanced menu option with all sorts of customization options to help fine-tune the monitor to your specific playstyle. From there, you can tweak black stabilizer settings, which is huge, especially for OLED displays designed for FPS games. You can also switch between different game modes, tweak color, gamma, brightness, contrast settings, and a lot more from there. Keep in mind though that VRR and HDR need to be disabled in order to use black stabilizer as well as some other customization tools. There's two custom buttons on the remote control which can be set up for quickly accessing some tools. LG's game mode menu can also be activated by pressing the settings button on the remote. This will show what the screen's refresh rate is set to as well as other things like the status of VRR, HDR, and DAS mode. On the remote, there's also buttons for things like brightness and volume control, which is great, but without the remote, you're not going to be able to access the full settings menu, which is kind of unfortunate. Throughout the time that I had the monitor, I used it for gaming mostly with my PC, and it worked great for that. The monitor has both G-Sync and FreeSync premium support, and these are great for when pairing with both consoles and PCs. My PC has an NVIDIA GPU, and consoles like the PS5 and the Series X both come equipped with AMD GPU, so if you plan on using one of those with this monitor, you'll definitely be able to use FreeSync if and when you need it. While gaming, I had HDR turned on the whole time for the best picture quality, and during my time, I played both FPS and story-driven games like Halo and The Last of Us Part 1. As you may or may not know, story-driven games tend to have way nicer visuals than FPS, and they came out looking better than I expected on this monitor. I played Horizon Forbidden West on the PS5 at 2K resolution, and that also looked great, but I'll still prefer to play these kinds of games on a larger display if I had the choice. Being able to play with the screen set to 240Hz on the PC made gameplay buttery smooth, but keep in mind that there's going to be barely any noticeable difference to the eyes past 120 frames per second. The benefit of that 240Hz max refresh rate will come into play a lot more if you're looking to get this primarily for FPS or other competitive gaming. The super nice contrast and color accuracy is also top notch for gaming on this monitor. I normally wouldn't suggest playing story-driven games on a monitor this small, but the picture quality from that OLED display kind of makes this a really nice hybrid for anyone who's into both competitive and story-driven games. Now, if you only play competitive games, this monitor is a superb choice to consider. It's stacked with features that could definitely give you an edge. There's a super low response time, the high maximum refresh rate, black stabilizer for brightening dark spots, and even an FPS mode that's tuned to maximizing the monitor for those kinds of games. For FPS games, I played some Halo Infinite as well as some Apex Legends, and both of them handled really great throughout. Everything was buttery smooth and I wasn't able to feel any latency between pressing buttons on the controller and the reaction time on the screen. I also tried using the monitor for surfing the web as well as other light productive work like photo editing in Lightroom, but the brightness in SDR mode was completely underwhelming. If one of your plans was to use this as a hybrid for productivity, unfortunately, you might want to look elsewhere. Like I mentioned throughout the video, the monitor is not cheap at all, but could be worth it if it has everything you're looking for in a gaming monitor. If you're looking for something that works primarily for competitive gaming but can also be used for the occasional story playthroughs, then this 2K OLED from LG could be very well worth checking out. If anything, wait for a discount on the monitor and then jump on it. These things happen all the time. In fact, it might be happening at the time of this video right now. Anyway, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on using a display like this one for your kind of gaming. And also, if you're interested in finding out more about this monitor, like prices and whatnot, then you can go ahead and check down in the description box for a link that I've added there. that's all for this one. I hope you guys enjoy the video as always. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys next time. It's Tommy, and I'm out, y'all.